Good morning or afternoon. To be fair, I don't know what time it is where you are. Anyway, this video is about the habits I have been doing that have made me significantly mentally stronger. And why I really wanted to speak about this is because the actual habits are pretty easy. Like, you could probably finish this video and start one of them right away, but the results are like really powerful. And I think it's just a no-brainer. Like, why would we not do everything we can to make ourselves mentally stronger? So before I get started though, welcome to the channel if you're new or not new. My name's Maya Raichora and I'm the UK's leading mental fitness and visualization expert, and I love sharing ways on how you can train your mind to think, feel, perform better. So don't forget to subscribe and comment. I love meeting more people and just hearing your questions, etc. So before I get into the habits, I actually just want to mention what I mean by mentally stronger. Mentally stronger doesn't mean that, life is perfect and nothing goes wrong and you don't have a single negative thought. That's not what mentally stronger means. Mentally stronger means you have the tools and the ability and also the awareness to manage your mind. Your mind is such a complex, organ and muscle that it's not just like an overnight thing. We've got to build that strength, just like we build the muscles in our body. We go strength training, we lift weights to actually grow that muscle. In the same way, it takes a bit of time. But when you are mentally strong, you can feel more in control of life. You can make decisions, you can own them, you can feel confident. You can also, improve your skills, you can perform better. And so, yeah, it's such a worthwhile investment. Okay, so the 6 habits. Now, the first habit that I've started doing, probably the longest for, is solo dating. Now, might sound a bit weird, but solo dating is literally just dating yourself. And it's important because if you take a step back and you think, okay, why do we go on dates? We go on dates to meet new people, to learn about what they like, what they dislike, and you continue going on dates to literally, connect with them more, or learn how you can build a life with them and all of those sort of things. You build a relationship. But so why don't we do that with ourselves? Because the most important relationship is with you. And especially when it comes to learning about your mind, learning about what you like, how you view the world, you've got to spend time on your own to do that. And for a lot of us, spending time on our own is like sitting down on our phone and just like watching TV. But solo dating gives you an opportunity to do an activity whilst you're also getting to know yourself. So for example, last week I went to a basketball game on my own, and yeah, it can be a bit nerve-wracking, but I just sat there, I enjoyed it, I was able to talk to other people, but also it was just time for myself. So that can mean going to the restaurant on your own. If that feels a bit daunting, even just go for a walk on your own, but without your phone, without anything like that. I'd say one of the hardest is going to the pub on your own. That is interesting. But anyway, yeah, or like a concert, but allow yourself to try new different things. But the key is on your solo date, just get to know yourself. Be curious about yourself, curious about your mind as well. And building that awareness and that relationship is going to make you mentally stronger. Okay. The second one is implementing boundaries. Okay, so this is a really big one. I feel like the word boundaries is just a bit like, what does it even mean? And I never really understood them, so I never used them. But boundaries are basically an instruction manual for someone else for how you want to be treated. And if you do not have boundaries, you will burn out and your performance will decline, your confidence will decline. You just won't feel good because you lose your integrity. And so your boundaries can be physical, they can be mental, they can be emotional, they can be social as well. And what's really important about them is 1, learning what your boundaries are, but 2, being able to actually communicate them. And what I found, especially when I work with people or even like myself, when you actually do communicate your boundaries, it's like the best feeling when you can genuinely just be like to someone, no, or, actually this is not what I need right now, or actually that really offended me. Can we not bring it up next time? Being able to say these things is so important. And kind of on a side note, I remember so my diet's really specific when I was healing from colitis and things like that. And I'd be so embarrassed to say okay, actually, can I just have a plate of steamed vegetables? I felt so embarrassed. And people would cross my boundaries all the time, not because they knew they were doing that. It's because I didn't communicate, this is how I want to be treated. But ever since I have done that, I own it and I love it. And it just means that I can just live freely. And I think it's definitely easier said than done, but boundaries take practice. And through that practice, you do get mentally stronger because you aren't letting people just like walk all over you, and you're actually building the lifestyle you want to build. So, boundaries is another thing. Okay, third, visualization. Now, if you know me or anything like that, you'll know that I am obsessed with visualization. I've been doing it for about 10 years, and it is hands down the technique that has rewired my brain. And so when I say mentally stronger, I literally mean it has, like, my brain is sharper, I perform better, I focus better, but also just like I think so much better, and I just feel incredible with it. And so visualization is the process where you're creating images, environments, and feelings in your mind before they've happened. And I actually have a video that goes through all the what, the why, the how. And so I do this every morning. And it's a habit I have stuck to for so many years of my life, because just like how, we move our body to remain fit and to be able to walk and be flexible and lift things, in the same way, visualization is exactly that, but for the mind. So it keeps me mentally fit in the way that I'm more resilient, or like, let's say I'm going through a difficult time, it means I can level up. Let's say I'm feeling amazing. It just means that I can also appreciate that. And so I do visualization because compared to things like meditation or mindfulness, this allows me to actively rewire the brain and strengthen it daily. And you do really feel it. The changes can be subtle, but I'm constantly growing and evolving my mind. And like physically, the structure also changes. And so if you want to start something like visualization, I would suggest like sitting down, closing your eyes, and firstly, either visualizing yourself as the most confident version of you or visualizing your goals. And actually, I have some recordings and things that can help out that will probably be in the I don't know, what is that bit called? The section underneath the video. If you want to try it out. And yeah, it's literally, you put your headphones in, you put it on for like 6-7 minutes, and you'll be able to start getting into this process of learning how to train your brain. Okay, the next thing, and this might seem a little bit odd, but the next habit I've been super conscious about recently is body language. And you might be thinking, okay, but does that just make your body stronger, not your mind stronger? But your body and mind are so connected. Like, they are so, so connected. And sometimes you'll just be like sitting and you'll be like slouching and you just don't feel good. But actually, if you just like sit up, shoulders back, and especially when I'm with other people, look into their eyes, really look into their eyes. It will make you feel mentally stronger because you're more present, you're more focused, you are actively listening. But also your body, by moving your body, you are signaling to your brain that, okay, I'm feeling strong, I'm feeling confident. And that's super important. So play with this idea that by using your body as a signal to the brain, you can actually help the brain get into a better state. So, and sometimes, don't get me wrong, we do just want to lay in our bed and not really do anything, and that's okay. I'm talking about it more in situations where, like, we're in autopilot and perhaps like we could be more conscious about our body language, or when I use my hands, I signal to my brain that, yeah, like, you do feel confident, you do feel like you can be on stage talking. And so things like that, and really focusing on your eyes, focusing on your shoulders, especially, like really good posture, and just ask yourself, what would a mentally strong version of you look like? Like, how would she stand? How would she walk? And I know it might seem a bit like, oh, okay, this is a bit like just fluffy, but really, when you change your walk or you change the way you communicate to people, it really does make you mentally stronger because you're building your competence in the process. Okay, I think we're on the fifth one, which is actually tied very closely to this, is emotions. So actually accepting your emotions. Now, this has been probably my biggest lesson, is that, like, when I was young, I never accepted my emotions. And in fact, like, I used to suppress them. I used to just really struggle with them. And what I didn't realize is that I was just constantly suppressing that. My mind was like, it just got heavy. It got so heavy. And I was in the habit of not allowing myself to express fully who I was, and I was denying a lot of the things I was going through. And because we are very good at numbing things or distracting ourselves, then the mind gets used to that. And it's not that it just goes away, right? We just push it back, which is the problem, because it's still there and it still weighs on us. And it's one of those things where when I when I was doing this, I didn't really feel the effect of it. But now that I have changed that and I do accept my emotions and I do feel them, like the change has been incredible. Like the way I can trust myself to not be afraid of my emotions and genuinely feel them and release them feels like just like the biggest win in life, because I'm not scared of them. If I feel sad, if I feel jealous, if I feel scared, I'm like, okay, I'm feeling it. And my mind and body can work together to release them. And I use a lot of creative visualization to do that. But by suppressing your emotions, you are also suppressing like who you are. You suppress the way you think, the way your mind thinks. And that like, it just doesn't, it's a very dampened version of life. And so when I started being able to say like, actually, yeah, like I'm going to feel what I need to feel, I just felt so much lighter. There was so much more space to do other things, to think differently, to be more creative. And so my motto for that is feel it to heal it. And a lot of the time we don't realize it's so connected to the mind, but it really is. Okay, and the last habit, which is probably one of my favorites, and I think I do this a lot with the athletes I work with, and the leaders, is like, it's power phrases. And some people, you know, I think the word like affirmations and all of that is very popular these days, but I like to think of it as power phrases. You know, the way you talk to yourself does make a huge difference. There is no doubt about it. Like what you are saying, not even out loud, what you are whispering to yourself is really what your reality is. So if you are constantly looking really confident, but internally you're like, okay, you know, you're a rubbish person, you're not good enough, that is literally, just imagine that conflict there. So really being intentional with the power phrases you use. So for example, when I wake up, the first thing I say is, okay, show me how good it gets. And it just means I'm open. I'm open to opportunities. I'm open to being more resilient. I'm open to being more creative. So show me how good it gets. And it's like I'm expecting good to come into my life. So then I see that good. When I'm not feeling great, my power phrase will just be like, it's okay, you've got this. And like, it's not to say that, you know, it always helps, but what it does is it connects me back to my like strongest self. It makes me feel mentally strong that, you know what, you can get through this. And so having power phrases is really, really important. And that can be from, look, I'm my biggest cheerleader, or like, go you, or like, you've got this, or it can be anything, but really something that's meaningful to you. And those power phrases are those statements that are meaningful and they do make an impact. And by doing that, you are connecting, again, the brain to also your body, but also to your actions. And so you can see that the way it builds your mental strength by you actually reaffirming, okay, like, show me how good it gets, or I've got this. So what happens is your natural state of your mind is then in that kind of mindset or that perspective, which is like beyond powerful. So just to go over again, we've got, oh God, will I remember this? The first one, I actually can't remember the first one. Did I write these down? Maybe I wrote them down. Oh yes, I remember. Okay, so solo dating, implementing boundaries, visualization. 4 was, does anyone remember? This is your homework. 4, I do remember it. 5 was suppressing emotions, and 6 was power phrases. 4, body language. See? Yeah, even I've got to do a reminder here. But those 6 are key. And they're little habits that you can literally start doing right away. So look at your body language. Literally, as you're looking at me, change your body language with me, okay? Start picking your power phrases. Maybe do like a 10-minute visualization. You don't need to do it all together. But yeah, this week I challenge you to try a few of these and just see those little steps to make you mentally stronger. I think that's it from me. So yeah,